I remember back when the Da Vinci Code came out and everybody's going, oh, the deity of Christ was invented by Constantine at the Council of Nicea in 325. This was written long before Constantine was a gleam in his daddy's eye. And what do we have right here? Here, written long before Constantine ever came along, documentary evidence that Dan Brown owes us all a refund. This is a P72 from around AD 175 to 200. I saw this exact page in 1993 in Denver. I was up debating on the subject of Roman Catholicism, and the Pope was in town, which is why we were having those debates. And the Papal Treasures exhibit was in town. And when I saw it, they had a part of P72, I said, we've got to go. And we go walking in here. They've got gold crowns and tiaras and diamonds. I could care less. Right at the beginning of the tour, here this is, under glass. And I'm just standing there. Oh, look at this. You can see the nomina sacra. The nomina sacra. For some reason, Christians, we don't know why. We have no idea why. But Christians developed a series of abbreviations. God, Jesus, Lord, Spirit. They'd abbreviate those words and put a line over them. And if you look real carefully, you can see a bunch of words, and there's these little lines over them. Only Christians did that. We don't know why. But I started translating it. And what I really like is, this is actually, you can see right at the top, it says Petru Epistolae Be, 2 Peter. This is the earliest manuscript we have. That's the end of 1 Peter and the beginning of 2 Peter. The earliest manuscript we have from around 175 to 200 AD. Now you look at it and you go, this guy did not win the handwriting competition in first grade. Lines aren't exactly straight, you know, that's not the most perfect cursive handwriting or whatever you've ever seen. This is probably just a believer. Obviously had some education, because not everybody could write back then. Obviously had some education. Probably what happened here is Christians, when they would travel, they would go into other churches and they'd fellowship. Christians love to have fellowship with one another. And they probably brought out 1 and 2 Peter, started reading from. This guy goes, what's that? We've never heard that before. We don't have that in our church. Could I make a copy of that? And I've always wondered, if our folks had to hand copy their own copies of the scriptures, how well would we do? How many would have only 1 and 2 Peter? Certainly wouldn't have many copies of Isaiah or Ezekiel, would we? Probably not. It's hard to get folks just to show up for Sunday school, let alone have to copy their own scriptures. But here's someone who loved the word so much that not only were they willing to handwrite it, but remember, up until 313, Christianity was a religio illicita, an illegal religion. And many people lost their lives for possessing the Christian scriptures. And the Romans destroyed thousands of manuscripts of the Christian scriptures. So here's someone who loves the word so much they want to handwrite it and risk their own lives in the process. That was almost in tears. But what's also really neat about it is that if you know 2 Peter 1:1, you know that that is a reference to the deity of Christ. Now remember back when the Da Vinci Code came out and everybody's going, oh, the deity of Christ was invented by Constantine at the Council of Nicea in 325. This was written long before Constantine was a gleam in his daddy's eye. And what do we have right here? Our God and Savior, Jesus Christ, called a Granville-Sharp construction, where God and Savior both applied to the one person, Jesus Christ, here written long before Constantine ever came along, documentary evidence that Dan Brown owes us all a refund.